Welcome back to Starting Nine. Episode 235. And I'm still horny.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm still, I haven't begun the process of coming down off the high. I haven't come down yet. I'm still levitating above the earth after this. And I know that, like,
Jared, I got a letter from the fire department slipped underneath my door this morning. They're going to be charging me for the visit they had to make to the building. I almost burnt the fucker down. Skin fire after skin fire after skin fire this entire weekend. Unbelievable.
A lot of battering ram going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, so here's where I stand on this. There are a lot of people now in the past year or so that are trying to get into the baseball content game. All the power to them. We appreciate anyone who's aiding in the effort to grow the game.
Yes.
But some of these people are using just like buzzword after buzzword after buzzword, and it's like, all right, we get it. And I feel like when we're talking about Dodgers-Padres, what I don't want to happen is for it to get beaten into the ground, like how awesome it is. And I didn't want it to be like inauthentic from people just like hoping it, like chasing the high almost from that first series. And it's like, oh man, they play each other again the following weekend and like hyping up a series that didn't really deserve a ton of hype. That is not the case. Like these games are October baseball games happening in April, and they've played each other 7 times. And outside of, I can't remember which game it was, the game that like basically the Dodgers pulled away at the end. Yeah. That was it. And even then, like it was still a ball game for like 8 or 9 innings.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and this ties back
rosters,
into.
Though, Jared, they lend you to being excited about them though. You talk about the fan buildup and maybe just the fan who's not super in tune, or the baseball creator that's just getting into the content delivery, however you want to phrase it. This is exactly what they need to get themselves going. If you're going to be encouraged and you're going to be propelled to get into the game and do stuff like this, you need these two types of teams doing this type of stuff. So I can understand where you're coming from when you say, I just didn't want it to be overhyped to the point like we ruined what we got the first series by expecting so much more. And then now the rest of it is just going to kind of be, who knows? It's going to be I don't know, maybe it's going to be an ass kicking one way or the other. That's not what happened. So, that's why I said it was postseason. You said this. It was postseason vibes, and it's April 25th.
Yeah.
And
by the way, every Starting 9 episode is going to be on the YouTube channel, so check that out. Go over and subscribe to the Starting 9 YouTube channel. Helps us out a ton. There's going to be a lot of content on there.
Everything.
Yeah, just fucking pause the podcast. Pause it right now. Pull up your phone.
Hit it.
Boop. Starting 9 YouTube channel. Hit subscribe.
Hit that
Thank you.
Sub, buddy.
We do it. It's free. It's fucking free. So we also have Stay Hot or Not dropping on Mondays, and again, Morning Wood is Monday, Wednesday, Friday this season. I got a lot that I want to say about this Dodgers-Padres series, like a lot. But I know that you, for some reason, I don't know how, between being a major league broadcaster to watching out-of-market baseball, you've also found time to get into MLB The Show. And because I FaceTimed you a couple nights ago, and you were just balls deep in a brand new stadium. So, can you tell the folks where, if you want to get MLB The Show, where can you go get that?
Well, dude, the coolest part about what the show has done is they are multi-platform now. So it's not just the PS homies that have been able to enjoy the show. You haven't had to go out and buy a whole new console just so you can play baseball. So honestly, tip of the cap to the video game industry, huge tip of the cap to MLB The Show, to PlayStation, and to Xbox for getting in on this, because it's a big deal. But an even bigger tip of the cap to GameStop for providing not only all of those platforms, but the product you're looking for. They're your tambourine man, Carrabis. They've got what you need, Playboy, and it's MLB The Show 21 on your PS5, on your PS4, and for the very first time, like I mentioned, the Xbox Series X, the Series S, Xbox One. It doesn't matter. They got you gamers squared away. So get it from GameStop in-store or online. Best part about the shit, like I told you last week, free same-day delivery. You get the itch? You want the scratch? Hey, Tambourine Man, won't you play a song for me? GameStop's got MLB The Show 21 for you and me. Yes, they do. So whether you're looking to truly compete, maybe just want to kick back, do some stick work like I was doing, creating an absolute baseball sanctuary. Carrabis, tell them how high my wall in left field is.
The left field wall should have been 9 feet. It's not.
No,
Nope, it should have. Nope, you fucked
Nope.
that up. The right field wall is...
Tell them how tall.
It's 21 feet high, which is absolutely correct, 100% correct. The center field wall should be 27 feet high, but I don't think you even told me anything about the center field wall.
24 feet high.
Okay, fair. But the left field wall is what?
25 feet high.
Why?
What do you mean, why? How do you even ask that? What?
I mean,
How do
like,
you even ask that question? Why? What do you mean, why?
I guess.
Why?
All right.
What do you mean? Stop it right now. You can look. I understand that the childhood boy. I understand little bottle rocket might want it to be 24, and that's fine.
No, I mean even adult
you need to
wants
come
it to be
correct.
24. Like if we're
What's
talking
that?
about like Barry was not known as
Stop it. Don't make me. I'll have to say him. Don't make me have to not tell you about him.
I know he's got the gold gloves.
So
he's got
so then stop yourself right now. Don't do it to yourself. Don't.
All right, fine.
Thank you. So yes, the wall in MLB The Show in my awesome baseball sanctuary is 25 feet high in left field, 24 in right, nod to the kid, and a 21-foot wall in right field, a node to Mr. Clemente. That's just how I roll.
All right, that's fine.
So
let's get into Padres Dodgers here because
let me go get the lotion.
Yeah, get the lotion out. So I didn't tweet this, but I had this take almost where
Give it to me. Give it to me right now, exclusive, straight raw, into the veins. Oh, we're getting it going.
Yeah, so the Padres took 3 out of 4 in this series.
Mm-hmm.
Did they, even though they took 3 out of 4, did they still like almost get outplayed? Did it almost feel like either a split or that the Dodgers won the series?
No.
To me, it did. To me, it
Not
did.
to
Like
me.
it
No,
did
like-
not feel like when a team rolls into town and takes 3 out of 4, you're like, damn, like we got it taken to us. It did not feel like the Padres took it to the Dodgers. It just felt either balanced or during the course of the games, it still felt like the Dodgers had the upper hand.
Like, and I mean this. How do I say? So when you lose games in the fashion that big comeback game was lost in, and you are winning the tightly contested ball games, it's in the areas that you win where if they become redundant, like, oh man, is it the bullpen that's not stepping up again? Is it, now you start to believe we are better than this team in this area. So from a outsider's perspective, from a viewer's perspective, from a fan perspective, you might not feel that, but when you come back and beat a team that should, when they get that kind of a lead on you, just be absolutely
Never
smothering you.
Yeah.
You never lose that ball game. I don't care if it's April. I don't care if it's October. You just never lose that ball game if you're that ball club. And for that to happen, what that tells the team who may feel like, oh, did we get lucky to take 3 out of 4? What that tells that team is,
we can hang.
This is what we're capable. Not only can we hang, this is what we're capable of, because we shouldn't have been hanging in this ball game, and not only did we come back, we won the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we can do. That's what we're capable of doing against the best this game has to offer. So when you win in that fashion, it means a lot more than it does to just like look at it like, oh, they narrowly eked one out and got lucky. That's not what that group is thinking. And that's not the vibe. That's not the energy, because you needed all of those things to come through, and you needed all of those those knocks to get strung together. You needed all of that to happen, and they did. They executed.
So these two teams don't play against each other until June 21st. So it's going to be some time. It's going to be like 2 months almost until they see each other again. And I agree with you that like a series like this for the Padres. So like there's a couple points I want to make here. Right now, the Padres are 13-11. They're in third place. The San Francisco Giants are in first place at 14-8, a game back. They're a game back of the Dodgers. And I said this before, and I remember people on Twitter just losing their fucking minds that I said this. But I was like, the Giants are boring. Like, they're boring. Like, it's not the Mad Bum. Like, Buster Posey's still there, but it's not like that era of like Lincecum and Brian Wilson. Like, we can sit here and say that the Giants are good. Like, they're competitive. We can say that. But they're boring. And like, there's a reason why they might have a better record than the Padres. But if the Giants played the Padres or the Dodgers play the Giants right now, that you're not getting the same hype that you would for a 4-game set between the Dodgers and the Padres. Like, people just know that at the end of it, which kind of ties into my next question or my next point, when they meet again, what do the standings look like? Are they 3 games apart? Are they closer? Are they further away?
So this is what's great about this is everybody's like, and myself included, was like, God, man, not till June 21st. This is going to blow. This is going to be way too long. But you know what it's like? It's like meeting somebody for the first time. A nice little flame. Things are heating up. You've started some skin fires together, and it's white hot, and then boom, gone. Right? They got to go back to wherever they came from. Or you're going back to wherever you came from, and you're going to be gone for a while. Not going to see him for a long time. And it's like, oh, how's life going to be in between? Maybe you find out a little bit about yourself. Maybe things change about you. Maybe you become a different person. And then you reconvene with that person. And who knows? Things could be even better. Things could not be, because maybe you get hurt along the way. Maybe there's some things that don't go your way. And that's what's going to be interesting, is to see how these teams it's not sustaining, because I think we all understand that they're going to be able to compete. That's what they're going to be doing, is every other team is going to be competing with them. So what do they look like? How do they handle the potential hangover from this series initially that can be there? Because you hear a lot of people talk about it. The energy that is exuded is draining, mentally draining. You know, Dave Roberts talked about going home and just being tired, and like that's what it can do to you. So how they rebound and how they come back around, that's what's going to be fun to see. I think that we're going to pick right back up where we left off, because I think that both of these teams look like their competition as lambs tied to a stake that are essentially just a part of the feeding process until they square off again with the animal that they're fighting to be the alpha in.
You mentioned being tired. And you know what's tired?
Tell me what's tired.
Dodger fans using the injury excuse for losing 3 out of 4 in this series. You cannot talk to the fucking Padres about injuries. They should have Dinelson Lamet. They should have Mike Clevenger. And he hit 5 fucking home runs in the series, but they've got a very banged up Fernando Tatis Jr. Manny Machado is not 100%. Like I don't know if I forget which game it was, but he was like, I think he got hit and was on first, and then he like stole second and was like wincing, and then he was on third. It was like a big comeback game for the Padres. It actually might have been that first Dodger series in San Diego, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when Manny was
he's not
like
playing at
limping,
100%.
And for sure.
They've got their injuries.
Well, here's the other point though to that is Dodger fans, you don't get to bang the "look how deep we are" drum and then bitch about the injuries. Like those, you know what I mean? That's part of who you are, is having the depth. So, I understand that's how big of an impact that can have. But what I'm telling you fans is you don't get to say that shit. No. You don't get that. You don't get it both ways. So what is it? You're super deep and you can kick the shit out of everybody and it doesn't matter if you get hurt? Or is it you're super deep and you don't care if anybody gets hurt because you're kicking the shit out of everybody, but damn it, we're hurt now. We're not winning. I don't like it. No, that you don't. Nope.
No. And I also just like, I don't know. I thought it was weird that after a series like that where the Padres proved like clearly we can hang with the Dodgers, that so many people were immediately jumping to, well, they're in third place. Like, do people realize that they're in third place? It's like, well, I mean, it's still pretty early. It was still in April here. It's not like we're in August and they're in third place.
To that point, and to the questions that we just raised with the injuries that we've pointed out, that could be. I hope it doesn't turn into the Padres just turning it on for the Dodgers to sort of prove to everyone that they can hang with this club, and then lose sight of the need to win those other ball games. And it's not like they're going to, they go blank and go, oh, shit, we're supposed to be winning all these games? Mm-hmm. No, I mean, to the hangover effect. Like, don't expend all your energy focused on just this club here. If you're in third place, your sights should be solely set on the club ahead of you that day. That's how you approach the baseball season. You can have your ultimate destination, but you don't want to see the Padres just falling in love. I don't want this to be like a Michigan Notre Dame type thing where, look, you lose every single fucking game in the season, but you win that one. And it's like, okay, like can't have it that way for San Diego. That's not good.
The D-backs are hanging in there too. Like, I feel like no one's talking about the D-backs either. They're a 500 ball club, but they're a game back of San Diego. So this podcast comes out on Monday. By Wednesday, in theory, the Padres could be in fourth place. Are they a fourth place team? No. Like, will people try and overreact? Yeah.
Over the course of 2 weeks, Jared, things can change drastically. The A's went from never going to win another ball game like some moronic baseball journalist tweets, and then they end up in first place.
There was a time period where they didn't win a baseball game for like a whole week.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like I said, some moronic, unbiased baseball journalist said that they weren't going to win. They may never win another.
Yeah, like that is possible.
Game.
That is possible.
Yeah,
there was a point in time where they may never win again.
But that team went from that place to the hottest team in baseball. So
things can change.
That's how quickly things can change.
Good change. Yeah, anything can change in Major League Baseball. And I think with this series, what we're seeing in terms of changes is, and I've made this point before, we are seeing a change in the behavior of your everyday baseball fan. Like, we are seeing, like, and I think, when I first got on Twitter in 2009, I mean, there was only Red Sox on my feed. Like, these are only people that are like, yeah, I'm going to watch the Red Sox, and like, who are these other guys and these other, like, people in the division, like the other teams would come in like, who's this guy? Is this guy good? And now you've got like these online watch-alongs with baseball fans, and like they're tuning in to watch Dodgers-Padres Sunday Night Baseball, and it's not even that. It's not even, Sunday Night Baseball, it's a nationally broadcasted game, so like we're all obviously watching Sunday Night Baseball. These people are live tweeting Dodgers-Padres Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday night. So it's become an across the sport event, which is great.
And I wanted to kind of be able to break down this series game to game, but I think that's an opportunity to segue into what happened between Bauer and Tatis Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you talk about new fans watching the game and consuming the game, there's an effort to make a transition within the game on how it's played, on how it's celebrated, right? And when Tatis Jr. leads off the ball game with a tank off Trevor Bauer, his third at that time in 2 days off back-to-back Cy Young Award winners, and he covers his eyeball, rounding the bases.
He does.
He makes it a point to turn around and show the dugout. And everybody that catches wind of it, us included, love every minute of it. He goes deep again, okay? And we'll get to the potential taking a peek thing with Tatis, but for Trevor Bauer to sit there at the end of the game, and sure, it's probably a little easier said and done if you win the ball game, but Trevor Bauer is very open and very forthcoming about how he feels about Tatis doing what he did, covering his eye. And if you have new fans that are just gravitating towards baseball and consuming it like with some regularity, and that's the conversation they're hearing, between two stars. I want them to hear that as opposed to some older folks or some curmudgeons who are trying to beat a different drum, who are like trying to explain and almost stand up for throwing at guys and this and that and the other. Like that's just not what I want to see happening in the game of baseball. Those conversations. Jared, we have some breaking news.
We do. Oh my God. Wow.
Tell the world.
Rockies general manager Jeff Bridich steps down. Yep. Why wouldn't you? I mean, this has been a colossal failure across the board for this Rockies organization for several years now.
You know what happened? Trevor Story hit a grand slam, and he was like, and I'm going to have to trade this motherfucker.
Yeah.
How am I going to live up to I can't do it. He pulled the Theo. He was like, I'm out. I'm not making that move.
Yeah.
You're making that move. Somebody else was making that move. Trevor Story just swung Jeff Bridich out of town.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, that's think about like just the Nolan Arenado saga in and of itself, where you pay this guy to stay as the face of your franchise for the foreseeable future, and then within a year you try to trade him, and to the point where you have now paid another team $50 million to take him off of your hands after just a year and change prior. You were like, this is the guy. This is the guy. And then you paid a team $15 million just to take him from you.
I mean,
insane.
You turned one of the games like he wanted. Nolan Arenado wanted to be buried underneath one of those Rocky Mountain ranges out there in Denver. Like, my God, spread his ashes on the fucking field. That's who Nolan Arenado is as a player. That's the kind of dude he is. And you turned that guy against you.
I wonder like if something happened. Like, I mean, this seems pretty abrupt. This seems pretty out of the blue. Like,
yeah, we don't know what happened. We're just reacting because, like, literally, it says Jeff Bridich steps down.
Mm-hmm. Resigned. He's out. Gone. I mean, I'm sure Rockies fans are doing fucking cartwheels. I mean, we have no idea who's the next man in line or woman for this job. But
we've already run the Walt Weiss experiment out there.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be one of those things where they don't name a general manager until the offseason.
Oh, obviously, when I said the Walt Weiss thing, I was thinking manager. Sorry, general manager.
Yeah, I think they name
back in here. Yeah, Walt Weiss probably not on the GM radar for the Rockies.
No, I think. What do you think the odds are?
What that this is like a. I feel like just to kind of get into what this search would mean or what it would require. Like this year, right now, it sucks because if you're a player and you got this kind of going on right now. Like you're thinking, all right, what's our mindset? Are we rebuilding? Are we going to be going for it if we win? Like we don't have a relationship with anybody in the front office that can tell us that can give us that kind of vibe. So that's an uncomfortable spot to be in. Yeah, this is just it's so soon. That I don't know that you can go out and start a search and find somebody that you're going to be super comfortable with, like locking up for the next few years. Honestly, it's a great opportunity to see and sit down with some people and maybe get a feel for how they would try to right this ship, not only now, but in the future. And maybe you get a handle on, or you get a feel for somebody that you're comfortable with. But right now, I mean, dudes.
They just released a statement. The organization will be appointing an interim general manager for the remainder of the season, and they will conduct a search for a permanent general manager once the 2021 MLB postseason has completed. So yeah, they'll have an interim.
And that search. Let's be real. That search is starting right now.
That search probably started a few days ago. I would imagine. I would imagine that search that this wasn't just like a Greg Fiesel has been named the club president.
I'm always curious about that. Like, what leads up? Like the minutes leading up to that decision. What that looks like. What that feels like. I'm gonna make this phone call right now, and I'm gonna tell this person this information, and things are going to change drastically.
Yeah,
for a lot
the
of
fuck you, I'm out phone call. But it's not even like.
We don't know how it went down like that.
They're calling it a mutual agreement.
Yeah, I honestly I do underlying like sneaky believe. That's my take. Like, kind of like Theo was like, I can kind of see where this thing is going to be going. And I don't know that I want to be the one, after doing what I've done here early, to make that call here.
But with Theo, wouldn't you say that with the Theo situation that he was forced into that because of financial restrictions, whereas with the Rockies, this is more of like we just royally fucked this thing up. Like
sure.
we were able to sign
doubt.
Nolan. We had the money to sign Nolan Arenado, and we did that, and then we promised him that we would build a good team around him, and then we failed to do that. And it wasn't because of money. It was just, for whatever reason, they did not build a good team. I think they invested
they
like
experimented
$750 million in like -10 WAR between like 6 different players or whatever it was.
Well, and
Ian Desmond and Daniel Murphy and all these guys.
Well, the bullpen arms too. Remember?
Yeah, Shaw.
That was the big to do. Was the Rockies are going to do things different. You can't attract that big time starter. You're going to have to build those guys within and bring them to Colorado and hope they can have the success there that you've been, that's been evading you in that realm, in the starting pitching realm. Like, that was it, man. They were going to have to build that bullpen, and that didn't work out, and they gave those guys a lot of money, and it happened.
Do you still think that Trevor Story gets traded? I mean, like, how can you trade Trevor Story now as an interim general manager?
Well, this is what's going to happen is that interim general manager is just a voice.
Placeholder.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically going to be this Greg Fiesel, who's the club president, and like they gave him some other fucking title. I don't like chief baseball officer, basically what like I'm blue. Chief operating officer. Yeah. So I mean, like that's going to come from up top.
Well, yeah, but could we see it where, because let's just start here. Let's boil it down to the very basic that we can. Are the Rockies going to the postseason this year, Jared?
No.
Is Trevor Story a free agent at the end of this season, Jared?
He is, yeah.
And if it was in your best interest to build the team that you are interimly generally managing, would that be something that you would be thinking of doing?
No doubt. But I also wonder, if you're an interim general manager, do you even have like the launch codes? No,
absolutely not. And that is my point, is it would make total sense to do exactly what I just said. But what we're going to find out is who is making those decisions and just how competent they are. Because there is no other place, like the one place that Trevor Story's not going to be playing baseball that doesn't make sense for him to play baseball any longer is Colorado at this point. If you're the Rockies and you're telling everyone what you're telling them, that you want to rebuild. Remember, that's what you told your superstar, Arenado, the guy who's no longer here, the guy that you did give $50 million to another ball club to take. He's not here. You didn't. So who are you telling otherwise? You can't tell anybody that competing right now is something that you're trying to do. That's the reason you don't have the guy you gave a fuck ton of money to originally, is because you lied to his face. So who else do you think you're going to be getting away with this lie to? Nobody. Stop it. Stick your hand out. Bad Rockies. Now you just need to make the moves that line up with what you've been telling people. that you're going to rebuild. Well, you know what you do when you do that? You say goodbye to pieces that you don't need, that you can't afford, that are basically misfit toys now. And unfortunately, Trevor Story appears to be a misfit toy in that. Like in that.
What about Charlie Blackmon? You able to move that contract? No.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't know about Charlie Blackmon. And when I say misfit toy, that's not negative. That is saying like Trevor Story's going to get paid. Trevor Story belongs. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't belong there.
We'll
right?
see what happens there. It's interesting development just out of fucking absolutely nowhere.
Crazy.
Yikes.
But yeah, to get back to the Tatis Bauer stuff, I just think that it's good if a new fan can watch that exchange and get a feel for where the game might be going. Because that's what we need. If you're going to be vocal about things, culture, stuff like that in the game, you want to hear it from stars. That's what fans want. They don't want to hear it from the guy who just got called up. They don't want to hear it from the bench player. They want to hear it from the guy who was just given $500 million from San Diego. They want to hear it from the guy who's making $50 million a year to pitch. That's who they want to hear it from. And when those two guys have created a friendly competition, a friendly exchange, a friendly rivalry, and that's the message that's being delivered, that's great. And I know people have an issue with the messenger. That's fine. We're not here to talk. I'm here to tell you as a new fan, if you're hearing that message, that is a good message to hear.
Were you surprised by Dave Roberts' comments about it?
About what's that?
He was pretty. Let's see if we can drop in the audio from that. I'll pull it up now. And
yeah, you talking about Tatis speaking?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what I found interesting about that is.
Hold on. Let me play it.
That's when you talk about peaking, that's just not the way you play baseball. If that is the case, which I don't know, that'll be noted.
And when you say noted, will you have to make some kind of adjustment or have your catcher look for it?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
So I mean, like with that, I mean, here's where I kind of stand on it. Like, obviously, they're upset about it. And
can we start here? Can we start with Dave Roberts thinking that that's not a thing, though? Dave Roberts is
he knows that's a thing.
He knows it's a thing. He knows, and this is something else I wanted to talk about with the
Dave Roberts is not going to sit there and say, yeah, well, my catcher, Will Smith, he should have been looking up at Tatis. Like, he's not going to take Tatis's side in this, but the truth is, Will Smith, if you're putting down signs, how many catchers do you see on a nightly basis? Well, they're putting down signs like they're either looking up at the hitter or they're staring at the hitter the entire time. Like, that's how you prevent that from happening. It's a very simple fix. So Dave Roberts is not going to sit there and say, listen, we got. That's on Will. Like, Will should have been looking at Tatis, and then that doesn't happen. Like, he's not going to say that, but deep down, he has to know that that's the correct response. He's just being a good manager and having his guys back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Because I was going to say, the reason you steal those signs, if you can get those signs, like for Dave Roberts, a guy who ran the bases, made a pretty good living doing so, you get to first base and you start to peek in so that you can get a feel for a potential breaking ball coming, so you can anticipate a ball in the dirt and you can get a good secondary lead. And if that ball does go in the dirt, you knew it was coming, you get a break, boom, you're on second base. Now you're able to start to pick up signs. Now maybe you might be relaying signs. So the idea of peeking in, the idea of like getting an advantage in that regard has been, everybody knows about that. And it's not that he got the sign, right? It's that he was getting a feel for location. Something else that you have to consider, Tatis Jr. switching to the two-hand finish might not allow him to cover as far outside as he once was able to. When you're able to just kind of flail and swing with one arm, you might be able to fight some other stuff off. For him, strong enough to create enough leverage where he could drive the ball out of the ballpark with one hand over there. Well, now he might not be able to cover that area with quite the force, which he's kind of proving otherwise. He's driving balls out to center field, 2 hands. But he covered that slider in the left-hand batter's box almost and pulled it.
It was impressive. I mean, a lot of people were saying, in the still shot, like Tatis is looking down and there's no sign being delivered. And it's like, well, he's not necessarily looking for what pitch. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't mind seeing what pitch is coming, but you don't need to know all that information. And you mentioned this on Morning Wood about how, Will Smith is tipping location. And if you're a hitter who's as talented as Tatis is, and you can cut the plate in half and only be looking away, that's a huge advantage. And you look for that pitch away and you just fucking hammer it, goes over the fence. There you go. You got yourself another home run.
That's what big league hitters have to deal with, pitch and location. And any one of them will tell you, if you give me the opportunity to have at least 50% of that equation, I like my chances.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, you tell me a fastball's coming, I like my chances. Even though you get to put it where you want, inside or outside, I like my chances as a hitter. Now you want to tell me that it's coming in this location, I can gear up for that. Fastball, slider, whatever, because you got to understand, I know that the pitch is going to be on this side of the plate. So whether it's a slider, whether it's a fastball, I'm going to be able to make that adjustment. As a big league hitter, they do that. They're really good. They're dumb, but they're really good. They are really, 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 really good. You don't want to give these guys that. And that's what happens, man. That's what happens. But I just that was that moment, and that was just one of the moments in this series that was fucking bananas.
Yeah. So I think kind of where I stand on it is like, because people were trying to make the comparison to, like you said, standing on second base and peeking into the signs, and that's why you see guys switch up their signs or they're using multiple signs. It's not the same thing as a hitter standing at home plate looking down at the signs. It's completely different. Like, everyone knows that guys are looking at signs when they're standing at second base, or if they're at first base and they can kind of peek in and see signs if your catcher isn't doing a good job hiding them. But while it is different and more, I mean, being on second base stealing signs is not an infraction to the other team, whereas it is an infraction. It's frowned upon to peek. But the only people that should be mad about that is, like, you should be mad at yourself. Like, it's very preventable. Like, very preventable.
Well, this is the question you have to ask, is how is it preventable? And this is where the game policing itself at some point in time comes into play, and folks have to understand, what would you do? Like, let's walk through this process. Let's say you're Tatis, and let's say I'm Will Smith. And let's say it just gets so egregious to the point where Tatis is like, I'm just going to fucking stand here and wait for you to put your fingers down. I'm going to look at you. What would then be the move? Would Will Smith call time? Would he involve the umpire? Would the umpire then tell Tatis, look, buddy, you can't be looking down there. You can't do that. And then let's say Tatis wanted to get really crazy and be like, yo, show me the rule book, pal. Show me where it says I can't do that. And then I'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
And
well,
then,
that's where the
then,
hardo stuff comes into play. Like, I think
well,
if you're Tatis looking
because
down,
where are you left? Where are you left? Seriously. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I said, let's walk through this. Where are you left at that point in time? What is left to do? The umpire would then have to make a call that's never been made before. And when I say that, he would have to determine, like, yo, you absolutely cannot be looking at these signs. And so from that moment forward, there would be something instituted in the rule book that would reflect what you can and cannot do. That's why sign stealing has been okay and has been allowed and has been understood since the inception of this game, because there's never been anything written down to say otherwise.
Right.
So until that day comes, it's always going to be an understood occurrence. But like I said, if we got somebody that was up there going, fuck it, I'm just going to turn and look, and until I can get, like, it, you know what I mean? What
which
is the next move?
technically is not illegal, but like,
Right. That's my
the
point.
extreme example of Tatis standing there at home plate and just looking directly down at the signs and not budging and just making it known, like, I'm not peeking, I'm straight up looking.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm waiting for you.
I mean, it would be a situation where, like I know that
Your
like,
only two options are the umpire interaction or someone's getting drilled.
Yeah,
That's
not
just-
even that.
that's-
Like I feel like if you're doing it so egregiously, like I don't even think that that's like, oh, that's like a fastball off the ass. Like I think that that's a fastball like over the head. Like I think, and like we've talked about this before, there's no place in the game for head hunting, but like not saying to throw and hit him in the head, but like you're going to get like a very clear message of like, fuck you, stop doing that. Like I'll throw it
so
over your head.
you're trying to kill people. That Jared is trying to kill people.
No,
that's
I'm not.
unfortunate.
I'm not throwing
After
at
we
him and
just talked
hitting
about-
him. You're getting a fastball over the head. Like that's a situation where you do see something like that. You do.
But just and so where do you go? Where do you go from that moment? And that's why I would caution folks as you're evaluating this to think about that and go, oh, you know what? Okay, so if there's nothing written down, like I don't think anybody's ever gonna stand there and just be like, yeah, fuck it, man. I'm not doing anything until I know what pitch you're throwing. Like that's never gonna happen. But if it becomes a thing where guys get caught trying to peek more and more, and there's never anything written down, and there's never anything enforced, well, who's going to be left to police that situation?
The players.
And we're okay with it.
Have you ever
Believe-
caught
believe
someone
that.
peeking?
Me? No. So this is interesting. I've never caught anybody peeking, but what you can do, and you can read swings. You can see guys, like I would see guys step up in the box. So as I started my windup or as I started my delivery, I would watch them. I could see them take a step up in the box or like scoot up to the plate, and that's to get to the pitch before it's going to really finish. So my changeup, right before that thing really finishes in the zone, they want to get up in the box and get closer to the plate and take away any movement that might get them off the barrel. So when I saw that, when I would see that, I had the ability to stop. Like almost like how Tiger like would stop in a backswing when he would hear a noise. Like golfers can do that shit. Like you can do that if you see that. But that was me. I had to pay attention to how these guys were taking swings against me, how these guys were taking pitches against me. So I was looking for shit like that. But as far as catching anybody peeking in, Jared, I threw 2 fucking pitches, fastball, changeup, and neither one, it was 90 on a really good warm summer day. So like those are 2 pitches. In all honesty, your catcher doesn't even need to give a signal for. If you threw like I did, low velocity, it's like he's not going to be blown away by the fastball. It's not going to handcuff him.
That's
so it doesn't matter.
So, like hypothetically speaking, though, say you're in a situation where, like you are catching someone peeking signs against, I don't know, like Cahill back in the day or Anderson back in the day, and they catch that. Like, what is the chain of command? Like, how is that handled?
There's a conversation about it, and it depends on, and honestly, there's a lot of stuff that would go into it. Is this guy having success? If he's peeking and we're still shoving it up his ass, who cares? Keep peeking. We know this about you now, and we know what to look for, but you don't kick a sleeping dog. Like, buddy, if you're 0 for 7 in this series in the first 2 games and we know you've been peeking, keep peeking. It ain't working. But if you've now taken it, like if we've caught you peeking or we know that you're peeking and you come back into town and you're still doing it and now you're 3 for 4 Friday night, there's a solid chance your OBP is going to go up the next day as well, but it ain't going to be because you've been squaring shit up. It's because you got squared up.
Interesting.
And
So wait,
that's,
before we
and
move
that's
on,
because, Jared, that's because there's nothing written down
right?
telling that hitter that right there is probably crossing the line in terms of integrity of competition. Because, again, I think baseball has been made well aware that it's a hell of a lot easier to do your job as a hitter if you know what's coming.
For sure. Before we move on, is this addressed the next time the Dodgers and Padres match up?
I think exactly what I just said plays out. If they see any behavior tipping them off or indicating that he might be doing this again and he has success, all it's going to take is them thinking he peaked during an at-bat and him getting a hit in that at-bat. If that happens, your boy's getting drilled. Somebody's wearing it. Book it.
Interesting.
If he doesn't peak anymore or give them any reason to think so, then it's carry on. We have the friendly competition that we're all excited about watching play out.
HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. I feel like you would be a big-time HelloFresh guy, Dallas.
So I'm going to say this about HelloFresh. I'm a big taco guy. You know that about me. If we
I'll call you
if
a
we
taco
go anywhere,
connoisseur.
yeah. If we go anywhere and you have tacos on your menu, I'm having a taco. That's just fucking. I'll have a full meal and I'll have your taco. But taco, very taco friendly menu here. Extremely taco friendly menu. And the best part about it is, honestly, light cleanup, even lighter preparation because it's already made for you. It's basically you just putting the shit together and heating it up, and you feel like a chef because it tastes so damn good at the end of it. But it's a bevy of tacos. That's not all they've got. They've got a ton of awesome stuff. They got vegetarian meals. They got craft burgers. They got gourmet options. They got a ton of amazing shit. But if you are like me, a fan of tacos, a lot of their meals are taco-centric. And I'm not talking like regular-ass tortilla, meat, blah, blah, blah. No. Very, very different world here. It's fresh vegetables, super fresh ingredients. And, I mean, it can be very different. Like I said, they got burgers. They got all kind of ton of amazing stuff. So if you're balls deep in a baseball season, work season, trying to stay healthy, trying to maintain the gains, HelloFresh, folks that prep your food for you in the best possible healthy way, they can help you. So your local grocery store, probably expensive, right, Carrabis?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, 72% cheaper than a restaurant. 72% cheaper.
That's a significant percentage cheaper than a restaurant.
It is 28% cheaper than shopping at your grocery store and 72% cheaper than the restaurant. That sounds like 100% of a great deal, if you ask me.
It does.
That's just if you ask me.
Yeah.
So tell these people where they can go, Carrabis, to make sure that they are getting their meal plans dialed in the healthiest way possible. Because if you want to maintain the gains, like the rocket just blowing up, I mean, it's insane to watch the progression here. The build a rocket. How do they get it?
Well, here's what you got to do. You have to go to HelloFresh.com/starting12.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so here's why it's starting 12. Use the promo code starting12 at HelloFresh.com/starting12, and then you'll get 12 free meals, Dallas.
Stop it. Are you
Plus, I'm not even done.
12 free fucking, that's a week's worth of food.
12 free meals and free shipping.
Oh, damn, son.
Yeah. So again, that is HelloFresh.com/starting12. And use the promo code starting12. Get yourself fucking 12 free meals.
12 free meals?
Plus free shipping.
That's 12 free meals from America's #1 meal kit.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm fucking amped. I want some tacos.
I'd love to have tacos with you. This Madison Bumgarner thing, I don't know where you're at on this. I'm assuming that you're you probably agree with me. It's not a no-hitter. Like, I understand that, like, some of these people out there are like, well, they made the doubleheaders 7 innings, and they're official 7-inning games. So if you allow no hits, then it's a no-hitter. No. Like, no, that's not how that works. Like, a no-hitter by rule should be 9 innings.
Well, so
And
by rule,
of all
by
people,
rule, Jared.
it is 9 innings.
No. By rule, they have made everything that happens in a 7-inning baseball game legitimate.
Well, like, a
Because they've
complete
made-
game is a complete game, yeah.
Because they've made the 7-inning baseball game legitimate. So I know exactly where you're coming from when you talk about measuring up and 2 guys next to each other. Who's like the best, honestly, like, side note, the best part about this, and this is why oh God, man, I wish he was in San Francisco, Jared, because I would drive over to the ballpark to wear him out about this.
Yeah.
Because like, you gotta just a little taste of how he is, how he operates. And like, I don't know if fans have been seeing the stuff that the Diamondbacks do after they win ball games. They're dancing, choreographed and shit. David Peralta's got the whole squad turned, and it's great. And they're like, yo, we're going to get Mad Bum to dance. We're going to get him in there. And he's like, you're fucking over my dead body. You're going to get me to dance. That is just not going to be okay. It's going to be a thing, but I will kill anybody that has a video camera in there. Like, that's kind of how it's going. He's that dude. So there, and I mean, come on, the World Series pedigree, like who this guy is. He's a fucking cowboy. He moonlights as a real fucking cowboy. Shout out Mason Saunders. When this guy throws a no-hitter and it's only 7 innings, he's pissed. He wants 2 more innings to go out there. I promise you, if he's doing what he's doing, because he wants to put that stamp on it. He's looking around for people that can just be like, hey, you fucking grab a bat. You want some ABs? Get your ass in there. I'm going to punch you out too. We're going to make this sumbitch official. That's why I think we should lobby to make the extra innings that the Padres play count towards Mad Bum's game, and we'll just give him those innings, and we'll call it a no-no and be done.
Yeah. I mean, I hate it. I hate the 7-inning doubleheaders. It's not a real no-hitter. It's not. And that's why I said it was so ironic that the first 7-inning no-hitter was probably the one guy that would absolutely say, fuck that. That's not a real no-hitter. I'm sure there's plenty of dudes that would be like, no, fuck you. That's a no-hitter. I gave up no hits. The game's over. What do you want from me?
Exactly. I did my job. Like, I did everything. Like, okay, so there were, maybe they had a base runner. Sorry. But they didn't get any hits. Like, I don't what else would you call that? How else do you describe that performance? Like, that's exactly
7 no-hit innings.
But so like, if
did
a guy
you see
hits,
the stat of like how many no hitters Nolan Ryan would have if they were all 7 innings?
Yeah, think about how many one hitters. 27 one hitters or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or no, is that right? No, that's not even close to being right.
How many one hitters did Nolan Ryan have?
11. Is it 11? What was I thinking? 27.
He had 12. Ryan is tied with Bob Feller all time for the most one hitters with 12. Ryan also pitched 18 two hitters.
I mean, that's stupid.
Yeah.
There's a stat about maybe he won. Oh shit, I don't know. Yeah.
He threw 7.
Probably not in the right headspace.
7 no hitters.
7 no-nos. 7. 7. Like, we to this day blow dudes who get 2. Like, wow, oh my god, 2. They're like
Homer Bailey.
and it is.
Shit.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
But I don't know.
You get multiple of them. That's, I mean, in and of itself, the no hitters, like I said, they're cute. They're probably fun to collect. But, yeah, it couldn't happen to a better dude in this situation because because you've seen him. He could smile about it. They were giving him shit on the field, and you could even feel like in that huddle that he wanted to smile. He didn't want to smile. He wanted to keep going. So it's just it's a cool story with a cool dude at the center of it.
Yeah, because, I mean, after the game, he said, thanks to Rob Manfred for these 7-inning games, and I'm going to go celebrate with my teammates.
Just the most epic post-game interview ever.
We just took the headset off and was like, all right, fuck you, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and I just his accent, I want to thank Rob Manfred for making these 7-inning doubleheaders.
Yeah.
And I'm
that
out.
was it. See ya. See you later, lefty. Michael Kopech is fucking dealing.
Gross.
He is absolutely 15 2/3 innings. He's got a 1.72. He struck out 27 batters in the 15 2/3 innings to just 4 walks.
And it's 1,000 miles an hour. By the way.
It's just
They need
absolute
this.
fuzz.
They need this. Let's just say that
He needs this. He needs
this. Yeah. I mean,
no,
that's fair.
No, definitely. Like, this dude was one of the top prospects in a trade for a legit ace who went to a big market and immediately won a World Series. So it's like, all right, like, it was worth it for that team. Now it's going to be worth it for the team that just traded that guy to get me. And then he opts out, and he's had the TJ. Like, he's been there since this is what, his 4th year in the organization? 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. This is his 5th year in the fucking organization. So it's like, all right, let's see something. We've seen Moncada do his thing. You're the other guy. So let's see it. And they are fucking seeing it. He's nasty. He's filthy.
Well, and for him to like emerge at this point in time too, where maybe the Sox haven't gotten off to the hot start that they had liked to or anticipated. They're starting to see some flashes in that rotation. Obviously, like you got a guy that throws a no-hitter with Rodon. You know what you're going to get, for better or worse, with Giolito. I mean, you get somebody that can show up and do this for you in a point in time where you need this kind of support in that area. Yeah, that plays. That absolutely plays.
I mean, the White Sox right now are far and away the best team. I mean, we'll get to it in a second. The Royals are playing good baseball. They won 4 straight, so have the White Sox. But you're talking about a +21 run differential for the White Sox, +3 for the Royals. The Indians are broke even coming into play on Monday, and then the Twins are -9. They're fucking 7-13. 7-13. It's still early.
Yeah, but see where
it's still early.
Exactly. So where are the Sox at in those standings?
Game and a half out.
And that run differential tells you they're playing a little different brand of baseball than the Royals have as of late. And that's why I said you get a guy like Kopech kind of showing up right now. It looks like the numbers are trending in the right direction. They're starting to score more than the other team regularly. And that dude and that kind of performance helps that.
Yeah.
So they could be taking off, not just heading in the right direction. They could be taking off in that direction. We are truly in the golden era of live arm action. What we're seeing on the mound on any given day is impressive, a la a Michael Kopech. And it can be in flashes. It can be in short spurts, but that's not the case for Jacob deGrom, who struck out a career-high 15 last game out, ho-hum. But that's the point, is this can't be just ho-hum, Jared. We cannot just get used to this kind of stuff. And we can't just sort of I can't watch Jacob deGrom's performances become an afterthought to the laughingstock that his performances become because the Mets don't win in these ball games. I don't want that to be a thing. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. But
Jacob
I think
deGrom is fucking on another planet right now.
So right now, we all saw what he did with the complete game shutout, 15 strikeouts, and I think it was Dave O'Brien that made the comment where it was like Jacob deGrom threw 9 shutout innings with 15 strikeouts, and it's still not unreasonable to ask if the Mets won.
Dude, I said the exact same thing on our broadcast because our Kipe, we were talking about it, and I jokingly said, I said, did they win? And it is. That's a great line from Obi, and that's sad to think about.
Sad
that it is a legitimate question. Like deGrom goes 8 1/3, punches out 14. But, and it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean, but?
Yeah, Mets
But
lose.
what?
Mets lose 2-0. 2-1. So after the 15 strikeout, complete game shutout performance, Jacob deGrom has lowered his ERA to 2 since the start of 2018.
Years ago.
80 starts. His last 80 big league starts, he has a 2 with 678 strikeouts in 518 innings. So that's the second most strikeouts to Garrett Cole. And in those 80 starts, 80, where he's got a 2 ERA, his record is 27-20.
It's insanity.
It's criminal.
He is truly
And he had
special.
2 knocks.
Well, I mean, yeah, right? I mean, converted shortstop. Your boy's going to rake. Pitchers are athletes. It's what they do. It's what they do. What else we got? Oh, that's right. Jared, you know who's starting today
Yeah, I watched
For the-
Morningwood.
for the Angels?
Mm-hmm.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani, if you recall, is a two-way juggernaut across Major League Baseball.
Best 2-way player of all
And
time.
He will be. He's on his way. He will be the first player that leads Major League Baseball in home runs to start a game on the mound in 100 years almost.
Ever, really.
Not since George Herman Ruth
He's the first player ever to do it.
has somebody done that, Carrabis. And that's another thing that I hope we don't just become relaxed with what we're seeing, what we could potentially see unfold over the course of this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I'm telling you, I pose the question. Ohtani wins 12 games and hits 30 bombs. Who else is the MVP? If the team wins, let's say he makes 12 starts and the team wins 10 of the games that he starts in, and his numbers are good, and maybe it only factors into like 7 total decisions. Are you able to look at that and really do away with the win-loss record attached to the starting pitcher and start to value the actual individual performance on a deeper level? Would that allow folks that assess the award to get rid of and move away from some of the numbers that they fall in love with and move towards some of the numbers that might reflect actual dominance?
He's slugging .662.
It's just stupid.
He's got 77 at-bats, 81 plate appearances, and he leads the league in triples with 2 and home runs with 7. He's driven in 16 runs in 19 games, hitting .286 with a .983 OPS.
And he's got a 1.04 ERA in his last 2 outings. Yeah.
He's
Oh,
good.
shit. Are you talking? Did you just say that Mike Trout is starting for the Angels? No, I didn't. No, that's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. So I
That's
think
a real life-
like if you're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of the MVP voting, you would have to take his position player wins above replacement and his pitcher wins above replacement and add them together. Like that's his true wins above replacement as a baseball player.
Yes, that's my thought. That's my thought on it. Like, you don't just like, oh, we're just going to evaluate him here, and then we'll evaluate him there. No, he's it's the same guy. It's the same. Like, put all that together.
Yeah, you have
That's
to put
his
it together.
total performance. It's his total performance.
I want to like eventually get an MVP. It's like someone that has an MVP vote. Like I want once we get to the end of the season, I want to get someone on that had an MVP vote and walk me through how you evaluated Shohei Ohtani, because it should be take both and combine them together, not like, well, as a position player, he's got a 7.7 WAR, and as a pitcher, he's got a 5.6 WAR. It's like, no, you add that shit together.
Yeah, that's the only way to get your full Ohtani. I need the full Ohtani experience.
Yeah.
We got to give some quick love to some pleasant surprises across the American League.
None of them are really a surprise here except for the Mariners.
Well, the Kansas City Royals.
No, I had them being good.
We've touched on them.
Yeah, I tweeted that out before the season even started. I was like, the fucking Royals are sneaky good. And here they are. They are, Dallas, the only team in Major League Baseball to have not lost a series yet.
Well, and the starting pitching's been getting it done the last couple of weeks.
Need to see some more from Keller, though.
I would love to see some more from Keller.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think surprising because I just go back to how they're scoring runs. What are they? I think they're second in baseball in stolen bases.
Yeah, they're
behind the Padres.
They are putting the pressure on. They're putting the pressure on. They're causing havoc
28 bags
on the base paths.
But yeah, the Mariners are a little surprising.
Yeah.
For them to be where they're at right now, having missed out on Kyle Lewis for the better part of the beginning of the season, I think, dude, Haniger, that helps.
The resurgence of Mitch Haniger has been fun to watch.
That's big time. That is big time.
And they've done this without reinforcements from some of their younger players.
Mm-hmm. So for the Mariners to only be behind the A's by one game, I think that says a lot about this young group here. Excited to see how this plays out in the AL West. Those are really those are the only two teams I care to mention.
I agree with you. I don't know why the Red Sox were on this list as a surprising team. I told you they were going to be good, and they're good. First place. First place. They have they're pretty much the best run differential in the American League. Just you can call them the best team in the American League.
I don't know if you can do that.
No, you can.
I don't think that's a thing. Like if you were to shake it out and just tell me based on the percentage of games won and played, and I think they're probably closer to a 3 spot maybe.
They're tied for the most wins in the American League, and they
total
have
number
the
of
best
wins,
run differential in the league.
I'm talking
best team in the American League.
Based on total amount of games played is just what I was.
Yeah.
There's a couple other teams that are better than them in that regard.
So. Yeah. So they actually.
So they're top 3. They're top 3 in the AL for sure. Behind Kansas
best
City
team in the
and
American
Oakland,
League statistically speaking. Yeah, best
in the
team.
East, they're the best. It looks like they're the best team as of right now.
Mm-hmm. Most wins in the league.
In that division, yeah.
There's only one other team that has as many wins as the Red Sox, but that team has a -2 run differential, so you can smell the fraud on that team. Red Sox are at +20, so that would make them.
No, I think what that says about that team is they have found ways to win.
Yeah,
in ways that other teams
they've gotten
just
lucky. You can say that that team's gotten lucky, and they'll probably fall off at some point.
Is what that would be. I think
so. You'll probably have the Houston Astros come back and take over that
scary.
division real quick. Whereas in the American League East,
being able to do that,
no one is going to be able to overtake them. But BetterHelp, we got to talk about BetterHelp. Last year has been hard on a lot of people, and that's why we're doing something new and partnering with our brand new sponsor, and that is BetterHelp Online Therapy. At Barstool Sports, we truly love and appreciate our listeners. Without you, none of us would be doing what we love to do every single day. So once in a while, we try to bring you something good. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but it could be. It is for me. It should be for Dallas. A lot of us take care of our bodies, but with as tough of a year it has been on many of us, we might also want to think more about taking care of our minds. There's a misunderstanding of what therapy is. It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be sitting around talking about your feelings. You can complain about stuff. You can vent. It helps. It helps to vent. Not even just really talking about your feelings. I mean, if that's not really your thing, if you can just fucking lay it on your therapist, you feel good about it after. A lot of people battle with their temper, or their stress is too much to manage, or they have depression, anxiety, PTSD, and the list goes on. If this is you, you can use therapy to get some tools that make your life easier. I have found it very helpful in terms of all of those things that were basically just listen. I think I check a lot of boxes.
Box checker.
Yeah,
we're all box checkers. That's the thing, dude. The stigma around taking care of yourself, the stigma around sharing some shit. Like, there is no shame in that game, man. Like, that's how you're able to go out and weather every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. Every day.
I think it's almost like building up body armor. Like, I feel like going to therapy for me, when I do have those situations where the owner of the company or the CEO of the company want to air me out on their podcast, because of therapy, it almost makes your shield stronger to be able to absolve things like that. And if you didn't have it, that can do a lot of damage to your mental health. So it's good to be able to build up that shield with therapy. When everyone is struggling with something, there's no more shame. You don't have to tell everyone your personal business, but you can talk to a therapist about it privately. Things should be handled privately.
Couldn't agree with you more.
BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. Personally, I do. I think you're able to establish more of a connection with the person. It's not a fucking glory hole here, people. It's therapy. There should be eye contact. It's much
now people
more.
Know. Now people know I know what a glory hole is.
It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. That's huge.
That's big.
If you're not in the therapy game, I cannot overstate how big that is to be able to find someone in under 48 hours, because it took me months to find both. Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really all about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself, because you are your greatest asset. Starting 9 is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month. Not first session, not first week. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/starting. That is BETTERHELP.com/starting. Some final thoughts before we get out of here. Christian Yelich. This is not going well. He's gotten an MRI on his back. It's not just about, okay, let's give him a few days, let's give him a breather, and we'll see where we're at after that. Seems like this is turning into something bigger than we initially had thought, which is not good. However, Brew Crew's still fucking rolling, and they swept, like all this talk about the Padres, they swept the Padres without Christian Yelich, without Locaine. So the Brewers continue to fucking roll on despite all this being stacked against them. They're in first place in the NL Central right now, but preferably you would like to have Christian Yelich back in the lineup, and it seems like it's going to take some time.
And that sucks. That definitely sucks. Because he's swinging it well, right? Swinging it well through the first part of the season. What do you get? 9 games, 10 games in?
Let's see. Christian Yelich.
The idea that they're holding water without him
was hitting
is good.
333 with an 826 OPS. Did not homer.
Yeah. Didn't homer.
He was 10 for 30.
But he's getting there. He's getting there. See, so that sucks. But to your point, the Brewers have been able to play good baseball. Is that sustainable without that guy for long term? That would be the question.
I think that they're benefiting from slow starts for as
other
fucking
people.
As great as the Reds started out, they've lost 7 straight games. They're in last place.
And you know what's funny? Think about that. Nobody's talking about the Reds having lost 7 straight fucking ball games, but the A's lose 6 to start the season, and the worst team in baseball.
Well, that's because you're an asshole. I think if we had a Dallas at Barstool that was a Reds fan, like the only Reds fan that I know is Welker, who does like the T-shirts for Barstool. That's the only Reds fan I know. I'm not saying that they don't have them. It's just, out on the East Coast, running into a Reds fan does not seem like something that would happen all that often.
A Reds fan in the wild. I went to my first Major League Baseball game with a Reds fan.
Did you?
I did. Saw the Reds play the Giants.
Well, they've lost 7 straight baseball games. The Cubs are just kind of there. They're very meh. They're almost the definition of meh. They're one game under 500. They have a -2 run differential. They're just kind of there. The Brewers are playing good baseball, and they have great pitching. They have great pitching, and they have timely hitting. You look at if you stood in the Brewers clubhouse right now, and you were like, all right, everyone, shirts off. You look around that clubhouse and be like, all right, not a lot of athletes in here, but we got a lot of heart. We got a lot of heart, and we believe in ourselves and in each other. And that's why the Brew Crew is a good baseball team. It's true.
You got them just being able to string them together. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't have to look like an Adonis, Jared.
No, you don't. They pick their spots. And they do it well. And that's why we're in first place. Trust me, I see all you fucking Cardinal fans on Twitter chirping me, being like, "Oh yeah, Dallas belongs to us now." Oh yeah, that's right. we accept Dallas, and we're happy that he didn't ride with the Brew Crew and you. Well, guess what? Guess who's in first? You fucking losers.
Long season, pal.
It's the Brew
Long
Crew.
season. Long season.
I'm telling you right now.
We're way too classy. We're way too classy of an organization to stoop down to the back and
we don't
forth.
want to be classy.
We just want to see some good quality baseball, okay? But if you were coming at me and my Pittsburgh Pirates, we'd be singing a different fucking tune, pal. We'd be singing a different tune.
Pittsburgh Pirates are playing some damn good baseball right now. They're 11
see where
and
the
11.
Buccos are?
Yeah, I mean they
500, pal.
They're 500
hundo.
Yeah.
It's opening day today for the Buccos, baby.
Yeah. That is.
How do you like that?
It's very impressive. And I know I saw
2.5
people,
out of those.
They weren't
Milwaukee
necessarily
Brrr.
talking about us. They weren't calling out us because I know that would have been a mistake to say, oh, like all these people like that are baseball content creators. Who's talking about the Pirates? It's like we talk about the fucking Pirates every goddamn episode.
For better or for worse.
Yeah. The fuck do you
I
mean there's no one covering the Pirates? I would say, like, Starting Nine is a sneaky Pirates podcast.
It is. It's a sister podcast of the of some of the other Pirates podcasts that you know and love that are out there. So
you know them, you love them.
That's.
Have you been
that's,
you
that's
should
how
do
we
that.
roll.
You should go on a Pirates podcast. You really should.
They need to invite me. Someone needs to invite me on their Pirates podcast.
If someone has a Pirates podcast, contact Dallas. He's open for appearances. Name another national baseball podcast that has Pirates merch. They don't.
Nobody
has
I
it.
mean, and even it's already now vintage merch. That's how
raise it.
That's how quickly those Pirates fans acted, Jared. It went into
Sold
fucking vintage merch like that.
Yeah.
There's video footage of me running around the rotunda at PNC in a fucking pirate hat with a patch on, wearing a 3-piece suit. And I'm trying to get a hold of that footage so that I can turn that into an NFT for the Pirates fans. We'll auction that off. We'll start it at 10 cents.
Yep.
And maybe by the end of it, we'll be able to, all of us Pirate fans will be able to put our money together.
Yeah.
We could buy a can of Seared Suds for old Ray.
Oh, yeah.
And we can enjoy our NFT
I love
drop.
that. Yeah, I'm excited for you. I feel like there's a lot of excitement around Pirates baseball right now, and I think it begins and ends right here at Starting Nine because, I mean, Dallas kind of is the face of the franchise, for better or for worse. There's like that's just how it goes, Pirates fans, Bucco fans.
I will fly that flag, Jared. Raise it.
How have the Pirates not reached out to you for some sort of like just care package? Like, there's got to be something. Like, where are the Pirates at?
I don't know if they've got care packages factored into the budget.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I mean, I'm here for an eye patch with my name on it, whatever.
It would be good business to get in bed with the Dallas Braden market.
The Dallas Braden Pirate fan.
Yeah.
We could do some. I mean, bro, I had a kick-ass time with the parrot out there.
Yeah.
had a great time.
Yeah, the Pirates showed us great hospitality when we were there.
They did. They're amazing. Let's be real. You watched a baseball game. Was that at the Pirates spot? You watched the game from the dugout?
No, that was Tigers.
Oh, that was the Tigers game.
Yeah.
But the Pirates let us drive the bus all the way back into the damn back of the facility.
The bus got hit by Homer.
It sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And a shout out to the father-son combination that I absolutely melted during live APs. That was a ton of fun. That's why you got to go to the YouTube channel, folks. That shit is on the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear the interview where Tyon showed Jared what a squat rack was and what a leg press. Jared had never seen a leg press before.
I laid down in the leg press and just started pushing it and thought it was a shoulder press.
But all of that is available for you on the YouTube channel. That's about all we got. Final thoughts?
There's one more thing I gotta say before we get out of here.
Okay.
And that it's next week. We have an interview with someone very important.
Do we?
From my Milwaukee first place Brewers. Oh, baby, I am excited for this one.
What a tickler.
I can tell you right now, since we've had several members of the Brewers on this podcast before, I can tell you with absolute certainty that this individual will be making their starting 9 debut.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, so stay tuned for that.
We go!